Mazz's Tears.
The second tier. Hold on, let me get my pen.
Mazz's Tears.
Dallas. Buffalo. Tennessee.
Mazz's Tears.
Third tier. Okay, here we go. Hold on, let me get my pen.
Mazz's Tears. 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 Tears.
And it's time for Mazz's Tears, brought to you by the Bernardi Auto Group. When it comes to auto dealers, the Bernardi Auto Group always finishes first with Mazz.
Mazz's Tears.
That's because they sell and service Acura, Audi, Honda, Nissan, Toyota, and Volvo. Bernardi for now, Bernardi for life. Find them now at BernardiAutoGroup.com. All right, Mazz's Tears. They happen every Thursday. What are we tearing today?
Okay, so given all the discussion about Gerard Mayo, about Alex Van Pelt, about the Patriots staff, there was the very real possibility that Gerard Mayo could go down as one of the worst coaches in the history of Boston sports. I think it's in play.
And where's that discussion coming from again, by the way, this program, I would assume? Yes.
Oh, totally.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I said to Alex Barth yesterday on this very program that I think the team record for our franchise record for losses in a season is attainable. It's being threatened or will be threatened in 2024. Alex Barth, Mr. Optimism, did not disagree. In fact, when we asked him about the number of losses, he said, well, it is going to be a tough schedule.
Old evil, even-keeled Barth.
So we elected to go with the worst coaches and or managers in Boston sports history, 3 tiers. I originally had 15 names. I felt compelled to put a 16th. These are really since 1980. You want to put Don Zimmer on the list, you're going to have to do that on your own time. I didn't go quite that far back. And in the case of, some Red Sox managers, just because a guy might have had a drinking problem doesn't necessarily make him a bad manager. I'll leave names out in that particular case. Let me just say before we begin, tier 1, to be a tier 1 all-time worst, you have to be on a special kind of suck. Like clown car kind of suck.
Like referenced decades later as one of the all-time
right,
worst
like
episodes.
just real, yeah. Like the face of stoogery.
Yep.
Is what we're talking about. So I just want to make that part clear.
We call this the Joe Kerrigan tier. At least I hope.
Because there is, there's going to be a name or two that you look at and go, that guy was a disaster. He should have been tier 1. When we get to tier 1, you'll understand why he's not.
Okay.
But we'll start in tier 3, Jimmy Stewart, if you would. Tier 3. Okay, no particular order. Grady Little. Now, Murray, what are you going to say? You're going to say he should be higher.
No, because, look, it was the one tragic mistake of Game 7 against the Yankees in 2003. He deserves to be on there. But overall, I got to look at him as one of, the all-time disastrous clown show managers or coaches in Boston history.
Thank you for saying that. Because you know what? When I looked it up today, would you believe me if I told you that in the last 50 years, Grady Little has the highest winning percentage of any Red Sox manager?
I'm not
I
surprised.
believe it.
Yeah.
Those 2 good years. And honestly, had Game 7 not happened, he would have been extended.
Now, that decision in Game 7, I mean, it's...
Fireable offense.
Yeah, it should have been fired that night. But...
He basically was, Murray.
But, yeah, I know. But no, I think he's in the appropriate tier.
Tier 3, John Farrell.
I'd have him higher.
Okay, same tier. And again, he won a championship.
I know.
He won a championship, and the turnaround in 2013 was largely because they brought in a familiar face who connoted or connotated, whatever, Murray.
You tell me, Tough.
Commanded respect?
No, who conveyed stability.
Ah, yes.
That was a really big thing there. Pete Carroll, when he was here, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
He inherited a Super Bowl team that got worse every year. Ron Earhart, also, his first couple of years were good. At the end, it got really, really bad. And so, again, he's not one of the top 10 worst coaches here, but Ron Earhart belongs on the list. Tier number 2 of suckiest / worst coaches and managers in Boston sports history. Butch Hobson.
Oh, that's a tier 3.
Okay, he was bad, Jimmy.
Oh, no, he was a tier 1. I'm sorry.
No, he's not tier 3, and I'll tell you why. The team wasn't very good. They had 1 year in there. I think they went 74 and 82 or something. Wasn't
Tony,
that bad?
the year they fired Joe Morgan, had they not lost the last 10 out of 12, they would have been in the playoffs again.
Okay, but again, it wasn't his fault that he got the job. Legend has it they were going to hire Whitey Herzog. but he turned them down, and they ended up having a Keith Butcher Hudson. Even then, I'm not telling you it was good. It wasn't clown show bad like some of the others. Ron Meyer, Patriots, disaster. Dick McPherson, nice guy, but they were a college operation, and he fit it. Underrated bad coach in Boston, Jimmy Rogers of the Celtics, was there for 2 years, feuded with Larry Bird. That's a death sentence in the NBA. And two Bruins coaches that I would put on this list, Rick Bowness and Butch Goring. Rick Bowness actually took them to the conference final that year.
Was that in Pittsburgh that year?
Might be
Early
right, Murray.
90s.
Yeah, might be right. So a lot of people would say, well, how do you put Bowness on that list? The regular season team was really underwhelming, and clearly there were problems there that the team was, the ownership and organization was willing to overlook a trip to the conference finals to fire Rick Bowness. He was nothing special. Let me put it that way. Tier 1. You ready for this?
Yes, these are the like the worst of the worst, the biggest clowns.
And again, that's the way I would categorize it, Murray. It became a clown show.
Yep.
Under these guys, to me, these are the 6 worst runaway bad coaches or managers in Boston sports history. Rod Rust with the Patriots lasted 1 year. 1-15, was not fit for the job. This really, at the end of the day, ends up being a reflection on the people that hired these people, because, or on the owners that hired these people at the time, because Rod Rust was not equipped to be a head coach. The ML Carr year, clown show for the Celtics. ML Carr was a PR hire. We all love ML, but it was a clown show. The worst of the lot, the 2 worst of the lot might be the next 2 guys. Dave Lewis with the Bruins. The Bruins were an embarrassment under Dave Lewis.
Yep.
They just were not organized. They did not play well. The whole thing, it was a complete freaking clown show. He sort of looked like a clown on top of it. Jim Kerrigan. It says Jim Kerrigan on the graphic. Joe Kerrigan.
Oh.
Joe Kerrigan was a interim hire, effectively, as manager of the Red Sox when they fired Jimmy Williams. It was a disaster from the beginning. It was a disaster at the end. A complete meltdown. Nobody ever gave him another job. No one ever had an interest in hiring him as a job because everyone knew how bad a manager would be the first time around, except for the Red Sox and except for Dan Duquette. Bobby Valentine.
I still can't believe this happened.
Clown show.
In 2012.
Clown show. Complete, total clown show. The Bobby Valentine era was a mistake. The hiring of him was a mistake. Do you remember that the day they started the season, Kurt Schilling tweeted the Titanic is beginning its voyage, or something like that. Something like, and he was right. Everyone knew it was going to fail. And Rick Pitino, another one, turned into a clown show. Totally didn't get it. Wasn't ready for the NBA. Completely dismantled the Celtics roster. He drafted Joe Johnson, Chauncey Billups, and none of those guys stayed with the Celtics. Got rid of those players. They ended up being good players in the league. Pitino was just not equipped to run an NBA franchise. Those are Mazz's tiers for this week.
And Pitino, the dope he is, came here thinking, oh, well, we're guaranteed to get Tim Duncan. And it failed. And it's like he wanted to just bail out after that lottery. Came up with 3 and 6 for the Celtics that draft year.
That was Ron Mercer and
Chauncey Billups and Ron Mercer.
Chauncey Billups and Ron Mercer.
How long before Gerard Mayo ends up in tier 3, Mazz, you think?
10 months.
Well, so concludes.
He won't get fired this year, but I think there's a real chance he ends up somewhere in there.
2 years from now, he'll be a tier 1 bad coach.
Oh, that tier 1 Jimmy, that is
a special group.
It's a special group.
Well, if he only wins like 3 games in 2 years, then yeah, that would be pretty bad.
So
he'll end up in tier 2 or tier 3, I think.
So concludes Mazz's tiers for this week. Again, brought to you by the Bernardi Auto Group.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.